We are biggity back. I'm very excited today. I feel the news in my bones. This is the greatest weekly news show, the full spin zone. This is the Brian Moreno Show. Thank you very much for joining us. I am your host, your namesake, Brian Moreno. I'm excited today. Thank you for joining us. If you're one of our new affiliates, you can hear us on audio only on Spotify, Radio Public, Google Podcasts, Breaker. I got to tell you, I had never even heard of some of these places, but now you can hear us on there, and I am so thrilled. I am Brian Moreno. For those of you who are just tuning in for the first time, I guess the best way to describe what you're about to enter is the full spin zone. Okay? We have been inundated in our life with so much doom and gloom news, with very little insights and opinion and perspective, and that's what I hope to bring you on this show. I am a man of many words, but these words are hollow without the people that this show also brings you. This show is, it's not only a news show. This show is also how do I explain this? This show is special because we have our in-house antibody. Ooh. Our professional doctor, Dr. Abby, joining us in the newsroom every week. Thank you, doctor, for coming in.
Thank you. It's always a pleasure.
Yes. Our very real, very alive antibody and in-house doctor, Dr. Abby, brings us the news every week.
With perspective, and sometimes a bit of a grounding nature. If you know anything about electricity, I would say you are sometimes the grounding force in this current. And then to my right, I cannot wait to introduce this man. This is Richard, the one and only comedian Richard Sarvate.
Hello. Hi.
Thank you. And if you are listening and not watching, because for those who are just hearing my voice for the first time, this show is a video show with real facial expressions and actual multimedia content. And if you could see Richard Sarvate right now, he is holding the guitar and fully prepared to enrich us with a new opening song.
Yeah, it's a little trial.
A little ditty.
I don't expect. It's better than a $29.99 song that you buy on SoundCloud. This is free shit. So.
Oh yes, and we all know how much I love free shit. Go to it, Richard. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce our guitarist, our in-house guitarist, Richard Sarvate.
Okay. Yeah. Welcome to the border between madness and sanity. It's the spin zone. You might get dizzy. With Abby on the news, Richard with his views, Brian is the host, it's the syndicate with the most. You won't ever call us a phony once we win our Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony. We give you the stories that have been neglected, so listen very closely if you want to be respected. It's the Brian Moreno Show.
Wow. I am impressed.
That is the man with the plan, Richard Sarvate, ladies and gentlemen.
Hazel started licking the guitar while I was playing. She added a few notes.
She likes to help.
Yeah, she definitely picked a few extra notes on there.
That was absolutely wonderful, Richard. Thank you.
Yeah,
last week, for those who didn't hear last week, we talked about my opening song, and Richard enlightened us that he played guitar, which I had never known. And now I actually see that he can not only play guitar, but he can write lyrics with the best of them.
Singer-songwriter more than guitarist.
Yeah, I don't even see you as a comedian anymore.
Wow.
Yeah, you're a musician.
Well, I'm willing to do an acapella next time.
Wow. And for those of you who can't tell, I'm wearing my snow camouflage hoodie today in honor of all my frozen comrades in Texas. Yes, like if those of you don't know, this show we film it. We don't film anything, and we shoot it in Los Angeles. And so many people have left LA and a mass exodus to Austin, Texas.
Bad move.
Which coincidentally is our first news story. Doctor, what do you got?
Well, I think most people are pretty well aware of the situation in Texas, but there was a big winter storm, and the power grid in Texas is its own grid. They are off the national grid, and that grid was an epic failure.
Ma'am.
This has been covered extensively, so I don't think we need to go into the where, why, how, who's to blame. We can focus more on the curious aspects of the story. But basically, the deregulation, they were many different power suppliers of many different varieties, all failed. I mean, it was, for those of you who like haven't seen some of the photos, they're really must-sees. Like because pipes are frozen in people's houses, and there's water like frozen to ceiling fans. It's a
amazing.
real disaster. And in the meantime, Texas Senator Ted Cruz decided to up and bail from his frozen Houston home. And so on Tuesday or Wednesday.
Oh, this is
at
Ted.
height
This is Ted at the airport.
Oh, man.
This is when he's coming back, though.
Oh, this is coming back.
Yeah. So basically, the timeline was Wednesday. Tuesday or Wednesday, his wife texted all their neighbors and was like, "Let's get out of here. It's freezing. We can go to this Ritz-Carlton that I go to in Cancun. It's cheap. And it's safe. Let's go." And all the neighbors said no. So they were spotted by themselves on, I think, a United Airlines flight on Wednesday. And I think it was first tweeted by a reporter from MSNBC, like Ted Cruz spotted going to Cancun. Twitter went bananas that night, making fun of him, and then he was caught flying back the next day saying he had just dropped off his girls because they had wanted to go on vacation because school was closed. And then the text came out that it had just been planned and that it was really his wife who wanted to go. And it has been a PR nightmare, especially because the Democratic rival that he had lost to, Beto O'Rourke, was out helping people while he effed off to Cancun. And he has been changing his story, backtracking, and all these old tweets came out, like him making fun of the Austin mayor for telling people to stay home during COVID when he was in Mexico. And there's this one particular tweet from 2016, "I'll believe in climate change when Texas freezes over."
That's
God.
okay, there's so many things that I unpacked in this story. First, as a politician, what are you doing tweeting some of these things? It's only going to come back to haunt you.
Well, Ted Cruz has particularly poor foresight. I mean, of all the politicians, he is the one with the most egg on his face.
This is actually one of my favorite items from the Ted Cruz.
I mean, the memes are wonderful.
Oh my God. This company is selling these Cruz in Cancun cocktails.
It's actually, if you look at the ingredients, it looks really good.
Yeah, it does. I almost got one to have here, but I didn't. I haven't yet. I probably should.
It's reposado, coconut rum, creme de banane.
Which sounded delicious.
Creme de banane sounds, wow. I got to get me some of that.
Yeah, to me, if there's one thing positive that comes out of it, it's this.
Yeah, that looks delicious. Maybe, they could be a sponsor.
The way you said that is the way I read it. But I don't think I could have said it.
I can do it again. Creme de banane.
Yeah, that's probably why I didn't list off the ingredients, is my fear to say that.
Don't worry. sorry. I went in.
Yeah, so Ted Cruz, like, there has to be, at a certain level, you got to have people around you that are willing to kind of stand up to you and be like, yo, this may not be you may want to reconsider. Ugh. And this is one of those moments where it's like, what are you doing?
Well, I think it was his wife. You know, he seems like someone who is bullied at home. You know, he's just like the type.
Doctor, are you defending Ted Cruz right now?
No, I'm just saying he's a wimp. And I feel like his wife is a steamroller, and she was like, we got to get out of here. I can't handle this. I need to get to the Ritz. And he was probably like, oh, it doesn't look good.
Have you seen the wife?
Yeah, she
is a steamroller?
She looks like a steamroller to me. And the fact that she was the one texting and that then her neighbors told on them makes me feel like she's not the nicest person.
Yeah. Well,
they sold her out.
I think it's funny that, and I'm not trying to make light of a subject, but all the comedians that just moved from LA.
I think that's hilarious.
To Austin.
I mean, it's like selling all your Bitcoin and then Bitcoin goes to 56,000, you know?
Oh, hey, that was 10 years ago.
Yeah, that was 10 years ago. This was literally.
No, I'm not saying to you. I'm saying somebody probably sold a bunch of Bitcoin in the past year and now it's through the roof.
Well, no, I mean, I know tons of people who have. So. But that being said, I think this is more like like you say, the South Park episode. Oh, thank you for the money. Now it's gone. Yeah. You know, like the minute
and
you move, it's the worst decision you made.
You've moved to Texas and it's frozen.
And I can only imagine, like all the boyfriends, like telling their girlfriend, it's not gonna be like this forever. This is
I
like
was in
their
LA.
frozen apartments. Like,
oh my God. And there was a quote from the article I just want to read. It says, I've duct taped my doors and windows to slow the temperature drop, and I'm in multiple layers of clothing, in multiple blankets, using my cats for warmth.
Okay, now as a cat owner, Abby.
Yes.
Would your cats provide much warmth?
A little bit. I mean, I think all living creatures would definitely be huddling together in that situation. And that's what I saw a lot on the news. It's like we take our pets and we hide in the closet and we all just try to stay warm.
And as of an update today, is it thawing out in Texas?
A lot of people are getting their power back. The bigger problem now is that all the pipes have burst. So if people have running water, it's contaminated, so they have to boil it. A lot of places are under a boil water advisory.
I did hear that. And this is the other thing, that in Texas, they prepared for hotter temperatures. They didn't at all prepare for lower temperatures.
Well, they had a similar storm with a less bad blackout 10 years ago and the federal government recommended that they weatherproof, but because they have their own power grid and they're not subject to federal regulations, it was not a requirement, it was a recommendation. And so all these little independent companies that contribute to the grid were like, we don't want to pay for that. Not on me, you know? And that's what contributed to this epic failure.
But let's not forget the most epic failure of the story, which is that Ted Cruz left his dog Snowflake at home during when the power was cut.
I'm so happy I would have forgot. Yeah, what is the Snowflake? The dog's
Snowflake
name
is the poodle, and the security guard. I did confirm the security guard was still taking care of Snowflake. I feel like Snowflake might be better off with the security guard. Let's be fair.
Yeah, I mean, but traveling with a pet, if he would have, if he would have been going to Cancun with a fake service tag on Snowflake,
emotional support Snowflake.
Imagine how much more shit he would have gotten.
That's true. He's gonna get shit either way, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it's Ted Cruz.
Yeah.
Now, but there's
a good story.
No, and there's not only a good story, there's good people, and the good comes out in people in terrible times. Give it to us, Adam.
Yeah, I implore everybody to go out and find the good stories and be a good neighbor when a disaster comes to you. But someone that the Brian Moreno Show is a big fan of, Mattress Mac,
yes,
is a hero of this story, and apparently has been a hero in other situations, like people who fled from Hurricane Katrina, Hurricane Harvey.
Well, explain what he did.
Opens his showroom gallery that is on generator power for people to come in from the cold. And he had hot food, warm blankets, put advertisements out. We are open and welcoming people. People were like, oh, it's like coming home. There's like stew, and he's walking around handing out supplies. Really wonderful.
Yeah, these are the images on the screen.
Salute Mattress Mac.
Yeah, Mattress Mac. Like I not only commend him, I have to give him credit. Mattress Mac affected my Tampa Bay bet.
Oh, yeah.
I did make money because, like, I know he's a savvy bettor, and I could see how the line wasn't moving for the Kansas City bet. So I'm with Mattress Mac.
Do you think he needed to buy that half point?
No, he absolutely didn't. Because that half point cost him $250,000.
Yeah.
So he paid good money for that. If he for that half point, all right. But Mattress Mac, God bless you. God bless all the employees that worked that night that have helped those people. Because without stories like this, it's very easy to just see the bad. And just look at things in a very dark light, and that's part of what the Brian Moreno Show and the Richard Sarvate opening and Dr. Abby. This is what we try to bring you. A little bit of levity, but also some positivity or perspective to some of these stories. Because I know when I watch the stuff, it's all doom and gloom. And these news outlets are very skewed, and they are trying. Look, hopefully they learn from this, and things like this don't happen again. And it's going to take a lot of time and a lot of money. But things like it's the nature of creation and destruction. Like things have to get destroyed in order for new things to be built. So hopefully things like, and I don't wish any harm upon any person in Texas. I do, think that all the comedians moving there are going to become worse, but that's a totally unrelated topic. I can tell you.
But we can say it as many times as we want.
I've seen the audience as an audience. Ain't no LA. With how hard I have to work for. God damn. We'll give it to us the next story, Abby.
I'm overwhelmed. Okay, so The Bachelor is in a little bit of an uproar this week. And not for anything that happened on the show, but there is this, the Bachelor this season is black, very handsome black man named Matt James. And
is he a good bachelor? Sorry to interrupt.
He's not the best bachelor.
Okay.
He looks a little, because he had never been on the show. He was just sort of friends with some people on the show that were getting Instagram fame during pandemic. So he was just like in their pandemic pod. And I think The Bachelor was just like, we need a black guy. And so picked him.
Wow, this is new. Okay, so this is to the left is Chris Harrison,
who is the longtime host of The Bachelor.
Chris Harrison is the pedophile guy, the guy that...
Yeah, two different genres.
Sure.
Okay. And this woman.
And so Rachel Kirkconnell is one of the very young 25-year-old front runners for on the season right now. And so it came out that she was in a somewhat labeled racist sorority in college, Kappa Alpha, as it embraces Confederate General Robert E. Lee as its spiritual leader and throws their annual bash during Old South Week.
I didn't realize he was so feminine. Robert Lee.
You learn something new every day.
That's a very
odd, war general.
Yeah, that's a very odd
And
choice.
their photos came out of her attending a plantation party and dressed as a Mexican with a mustache and a sombrero. And so she's being targeted as having some racist stuff happening.
Now, see, that's at least a progressive plantation with Mexicans.
No, those were separate photos.
Oh,
she was in like the old South ball gown.
Oh, separate photo. Oh,
separate
so she
photos.
was
I'm
doing.
saying there are multiple episodes
she was
of
doing
questionable
brown
behavior.
face.
Just mustache face.
Well, she was doing mustache face. Now, as a beard person, Richard, does that offend you? Like when somebody fakes facial hair? I don't know.
Well, that's not the point. That wasn't the bigger problem.
But it's still an interesting.
The bigger
question.
problem was,
and yes, it does.
The plantation party. That was the bigger problem.
I think I think people, again, you got to have some people that stand up and be like, maybe this isn't a good idea. I think everyone should have a friend that tells them, don't go to plantation parties. Like, if you don't already know it,
Right.
you should bring into your crew someone who can be like, don't.
Well, I think part of the problem is some of the feeder groups that go into the Bachelor are these white Southern girls who don't have anybody telling them that these are bad ideas.
They actually live on a plantation.
Yeah,
Right.
so
I feel like we were just having a party, actually.
Yeah. She's like,
But-
plantation parties.
you know,
My
the
home.
controversy sort of spiraled because not only was it targeting her, but then one of the old bachelorettes, Rachel Lindsay, who is black, had on, I guess, her podcast or something, or did an interview with Chris Harrison, who Chris Harrison tried to defend this, saying it's like, oh, in 2018 everybody was going to these, and it's like
2018.
and it's like that was
Last
like
week, it
I'm
was
like
like-
I'm like, how does 2018 make it any different? Like
Wow.
plantation party in 2018 to me sounds just as bad as it does today. And then he was like, have some compassion. And so he got really a lot of flack for that. And now he's left the show.
Well, I mean, black people only got the right to vote in 2019. So, I mean, it's, before
Yeah,
then.
like he said everyone was doing that in 2018. Like,
yeah, like, oh,
very
no big,
laissez-faire.
yeah.
Wow, that's
and so he really got some, because like the girl came out, she's like, I apologize, I didn't know, like I'm ignorant, blah, blah, blah,
see,
blah,
I
blah.
gotta-
But he's like really put his foot in it.
I have to be honest. I had no idea this even like happened in the world until I saw comedians tagging The Bachelor with Rose, like, need a new host, like multiple. Like, I'm like, what? Like, you
mean,
have zero chance.
In my opinion, Chris Harrison fell into this job like ass backwards. Like he just got it when it wasn't popular, and then because he was in it for so long, he just had, momentum, and he was like had nothing for it. It's just like his face. Like he's not funny. He's not a good journalist or interviewer.
I thought he was a part creator. I'm totally wrong.
No, nothing. He was just a face.
Okay, was he ever a bachelor?
No.
Damn, and he's 16 years he's had this job?
Yeah, long time.
That's
Wow.
a good.
The paycheck.
Nice
Yeah,
tenure.
no, he's made bank on this for like no reason.
Yeah, he does.
So I am
Go
move
live in-
on.
go
Pick,
live in your-
pick a bunch of other people. Who cares?
I say Chris Harrison should go live on his plantation and enjoy his latter years. Like he's
I don't know that that's the message I would take from this, but
well, that he's no. The message is he's probably going. That's where
probably
he is now. He's on the
probably
plantation.
'Cause- back in 2018.
All right, Georgia.
So another drug trafficking story that we like to cover: a huge amount of meth was found in the San Francisco Bay Area from Operation Burnt Orange
This-
that has been going on for a year and a half.
Sounds delicious.
Where they seized a half ton of meth and 44 people have been charged in like an unprecedented sting of all of this. So it's 1,100 pounds of meth, 500 grams of fentanyl, 40 pounds of cocaine and heroin.
Now I have to say that's quite.
They said this amount is 80 million doses of meth.
What would 1,000 pounds of meth look like if we put it in just like a cone
I was looking
on a
for the
desk?
photos. They didn't actually release the photos of it. Not that I.
Like-
A lot of times they show the photos of all the stuff. I did not see. I looked for it. But
Because I want to see, like, is it in Scarface at the end when he's got that mound of cocaine? Is it that much? Is it 20 times that much?
no, it's a half ton. Like they're moving it on pallets. Like this thing had to be on semi trucks. And where did they seize it?
San Francisco.
In San Francisco, in a warehouse.
Represent.
Was it in a warehouse? Yes.
I think it was in
all roads lead back to
multiple
San Francisco.
Probably done right in front of my club.
locations. They said multiple shipment. They tracked multiple shipments. In one case, drugs were stashed in a spare tire. Like it was a bunch of different things.
Yeah, I mean that's this is good. This is good for the police. Like I like news that at least show the police in some positive light, and getting fentanyl and meth off the streets. Like that's I mean, the cocaine also, but the fentanyl, like those are they're killing. It's killing people
But they only got 500 grams of fentanyl, right?
Well,
Fentanyl is extremely
Understand-
potent.
this
It's
is-
1,000 times more potent than heroin because it's dosed in micrograms as opposed to milligrams.
yes,
So
and
you can
people
fuck
don't
up real
understand
easy.
that.
Yeah,
And-
so it's a useful drug in the hospital,
Yeah.
but that's when you have a pharmacist.
But that's why these back alley dealers will cut it, put a
Yeah.
little spoonful
And then
in
it's, like, way
to
too
make,
much.
to make their already dumpy drug like more potent, and somebody might get the whole scoop because they're just weighing it in the bags. Like there's no consistent like, and
That's why it's deadly.
somebody can take it and
Yeah, just-
immediately just die.
It's like, is this too much? Is this too much?
Yeah, I mean that'll just make you stop breathing.
Yeah, they just don't, and that's why those kind of drugs, they come from Mexican pharmacies, Chinese Chinese pharmaceutical makers, Mexican pharmaceutical makers who are shady. You know, who the pharmaceutical company, they rent out their facilities at night for people to make this stuff, and then it comes across the border.
And because they make it for real hospitals, it's probably relatively easy to
It
make
might
a
be
side
this-
stream, you
yes,
know,
that's
whereas
exactly-
we don't make heroin.
That's exactly what it is. Just with the amphetamines, the same thing.
Yeah.
That's why when you buy Sudafed and all that stuff, you have to give your ID in California, because technically, if you bought enough of like Claritin,
Well,
or
it's a
something,
precursor, not Claritin, Sudafed.
So whatever, whatever.
Yeah,
it is,
pseudoephedrine is a precursor in the creation of meth.
A question: would you rather be part of the Sinaloa cartel or the Sam Gore syndicate?
Just because I'm a little fascinated with the Asian culture, I'm going Sam Gore.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
Plus, it's a syndicate. I think a syndicate is better than a cartel.
Yeah. Cartel sounds like.
Yeah, like I'm gonna get murdered pretty quickly.
Well, murder's gonna be at your door.
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
all
yeah,
the
yeah.
time.
The
all the time.
syndicate, like I'm just a franchise over
Yeah, like,
here.
right,
You know,
like,
like
I'm-
I
yeah.
don't know.
I might just have my one little taco hut, like
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
in the Philippines or
Your
something.
Asian tacos.
Gotcha.
You know what I'm saying? That sounds to me there's a little more romanticism.
Gore syndicate. Yeah.
And for
Yeah.
those who haven't followed, the Sam Gore syndicate is another Asian drug trafficking syndicate that we've covered on this news show that they had another big bust in. I have to say that, like, I make this statement all the time, the war on drugs is a losing battle. So something else has to be done. But these large busts like this, they at least...
They limit the damage, I think.
I guess, I hope,
I
I
think.
think.
I think.
I
I mean, it's like an ecosystem, right? Like some of it's just gonna happen, but you gotta
But the
limit
fentanyl's
whatever.
fentanyl's what I worry about because people don't understand how deadly
Yeah.
it is, and
They seized 500 grams. Like, I can picture that. That's like this much.
it's not much.
Yeah.
No, and it's like that would kill. Who knows? Like who knows? Literally, that might have killed 500 people throughout the U.S. at some point. You know,
Yeah.
because it gets disseminated throughout. But this is why I also like to bring up news that have happened that people probably missed, and this is one of those stories that I think may have been missed.
Okay, I just want to give a real-time update.
Yes.
The tweet that I mentioned that was attributed to Ted Cruz is fake news about climate change. Just
Oh.
FYI.
Oh, it is.
FYI, I just breaking
You
news.
fact checked your own fact.
Yeah, well, it popped up on the site with the meth story
That
it's
was a
fake tweet that it was spreading on social media. So I
See-
feel like I owe it to our viewers to be transparent that,
or new listeners.
yeah,
Well, you are the voice of reason.
Yeah,
you are the
so
grounding wire
I
in
will
this
fact check
electrical current.
myself.
But I do think it's funny that it's super believable that he would have tweeted that.
Yeah, totally.
I
no
th-
one would question it.
I
would, yeah.
think the way people have gotten in faking tweets is almost
Very talented.
it's really hard to figure out what's real sometimes in some of these tweets. It's really hard because they'll just change a word or two and you're like, they said what? And they go back and say, that's not even the tweet. They just photoshopped it closer together and took the word out.
2013.
All right, what you got next, Doctor?
Okay, you're going to have to help me out with this story because
Yes.
even though I sometimes get the nickname Dr. Crypto, I am still relatively new to crypto.
Yes.
Well, you own a fair amount of Dogecoin, so
Yeah,
don't
the
sell
Doggy
yourself
coin,
short.
I am an early adopter. So Dapper Labs, the creator of NBA Top Shot and the game Crypto Kitties, is raising $250 million for a $2 billion valuation.
Which is peanuts today. Okay, now this is for something called NFTs. Okay, now I'm glad Richard is here, our Silicon Valley savant.
Yes.
Okay, now let me be clear. I don't know what NBA Top Shot is. I hopefully you read what CryptoKitties is because
I did. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it. It looks really fun for someone who likes cats.
which is why I included it because
Yeah.
I can tell you exactly what an NFT is.
A non-fungible token. right?
Non-fungible token.
I looked this up.
Okay, this is basically the easiest way to describe it is a digital like trading card of some kind. So it's like we would do something that somebody would find a value and only they have this token.
Yeah.
Like, so only they can show it on their phone or whatever means, I guess you can show it or how you own it. So hypothetically speaking, they're for basketball cards or baseball cards, which the market is booming for. Say someone has a basketball card that is worth $10,000. They can technically just do these like close like zoom ins of the card, so the person could buy that non-fungible token for say $100 and it would be like they had it.
Yep. Unfungible.
And you can make it so that maybe there's only 5 or 10 or 100 of those in the world and that only so many people can have it. Plus, you know,
Well,
I find it very interesting.
No, I think it's super fascinating because it uses the blockchain. So it's like, it's the same reason that there's only 21 million Bitcoins that can ever be made. Now you can have only one, Kyrie Irving throws the ball, and makes it 3. And that's one item.
Which I think this will lead into some way bigger, more interesting things.
Yeah.
Because for me, the value in having a non-fungible token is almost zero. If not less than 0.
Yeah, what's the same value as having a baseball card? You know?
I'd lose my phone like sometimes on purpose. Like sometimes there have been times when I want zero connection to my phone and I can see subconsciously I'm leaving it places and like I don't collect.
This is called multiple personality disorder.
Well, I don't collect cards anymore because I found so little value in it. I like watching the games. I collect
Tchotchkes.
Tchotchkes, obviously.
I was going to say, I think we know what you collect.
Because I like to, in a way, be like the curator of things. Like I can tell people where this came from and a story, this and that. The non-fungible token, to me, I didn't grow up in a time where I'm going to receive any value from that. But there are Logan Paul. I didn't even want to put it up here. He just did some auction, made $1 million on NFTs because he's got some Pokemon cards.
Oh my god!
That he did something. Yeah. Well,
he made an NFT out of his Pokemon card.
He's got some unopened, some soup. Like I have never even physically seen a Pokemon card. Okay, like
I'm sure it was somewhere in your periphery at some time.
Yeah, but that's the thing. So this to me, I would much prefer to lay my money on a basketball game and lose it that way than to buy a non-fungible token. I'm not going to ever go back and look at that. I'll tell the story. And I'm not going to pass it down. Maybe you can pass those things down to your kids. Maybe there is a real useful value, like tangible value to this that I think I'm not yet realizing.
You're not going to open up your computer and be like, look at my NFT.
Well, no, I don't think so. But again, this is a real early adoption to of digital memorabilia.
You know what sounded dumb 10 years ago? Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Well,
excellent.
You know what sounded dumb 30 years ago, 20 years ago, 10 years ago? Baseball cards. All right? Yeah. People have been shitting on baseball cards since the Babe Ruth cards, right?
Yeah, my grandma threw them out.
That's what I'm saying. People have been dumping all. Well, some are. And
I threw away my Magic the Gathering deck. I had thousands of dollars.
again, I know
I
what
had Pogs.
I know what these individual words mean, but I don't know what they mean as a sentence.
A gathering of Magic.
Yeah, and Pogs.
I used to play Pogs.
Yeah, Pogs were cool. 4th grade.
But see, that's the thing. There is a whole generation of kids that grow up with just digital stuff.
Yeah.
And I think this NFT, if I could buy into this company, I would probably do that.
Yeah, is it public?
I believe there are ways to get into NFTs, but understand most of them, as I see right now, they are running based on Ethereum.
Okay.
So just buy Ethereum. Like if that was the bit of advice that I would give you to do with your money, because there are people who speculate and say Ethereum is going to eventually, it may take a lot longer, eventually take the same route as Bitcoin. You know, when it comes to valuation, because Ethereum, so many things, like there are hundreds of tokens that are run off of Ethereum. And as I said, this show may give you some comedy and some insight sometimes, but most importantly, it's going to give you some real, useful, tangible information. And this is one of those things that right now it sounds early and crazy, but I promise it's not going away. Absolutely not. Would you want an NFT of something, Richard, if I would get you something?
I would take an NFT.
I feel like you would.
Yeah,
I feel like you would.
And I would put it on some sort of like hardware wallet, you know? You can download
maybe
your
I make an
tokens.
NFT. If I make an NFT of Richard's opening song and it goes bananas,
Oh my God.
It goes creme de banana.
yeah. If it goes creme de banana. How do you say it?
Creme de banane.
Benin. See, if it goes creme de benin, we got to work out some royalty thing. I'm just worried about the lawsuits, you know.
I mean, I would definitely take that. I mean, I bet if you gave someone an NFT for their birthday, at first they'd be like, what the fuck is this? And they'd be like, bro, it's an NFT.
Yeah, right. And they delete the email, and then it's worth $2 million.
And then they can't get back into it. They're like, Brian, what was the password for that NFT?
Yeah, like,
Bro, I have no idea.
I only take fungible tokens as gifts.
And what is the word actually? I didn't look up what fungible means.
I can look at what it means right now. Able to replace or be replaced by another identical item, mutually interchangeable.
Yep.
Of goods contracted for without an individual specimen being specified.
Oh, so it's yours and nobody can. Yeah, I mean
That's actually very endearing. If I was like, Brian, you're non-fungible.
yeah, totally.
Yeah, you're non-fungible.
And continuing though, Dr. Abby, please bring
Okay,
us the
well,
next.
speaking of fungible things, and
no.
the power of crypto.
There you go. Because this might be fungible. We don't know if this is non-fungible. This story about the
No, I
Russian
think crypto is fungible as opposed to non-fungible tokens because it can be replaced by the same thing.
This is like
This is a whole different story.
Yeah,
Anyway, speaking of crypto, Russia is considering making its currency digital based on some reporting that we have, where it would be the digital ruble, I think.
The Bitcoin
The bit
ski.
ruble.
the Bitcoinsky, which I love.
Bitcoinsky, yeah.
Like the Russians have no, like they'll just knock, like the Chinese, they'll knock anything off. Like they literally, of all the wonderful words they have in the language, they literally took Bitcoin and add ski to it. Like that, how lazy. Bitcoinsky.
Yep, those lazy Russians. That's
Yeah,
what they're
like
known
this
for.
is totally like a great idea from the world and add ski to it.
I don't know that that's the name that they would pick. I think that's just what the Sun is putting in the headline.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh.
I think it's just the digital ruble,
Well, the digital ruble.
I think it should be the bit ruble.
I thought Bitcoinsky was.
Well, you like the
I
U.S.
did like
Sun,
it.
so
I did poo-poo on it a little, but I do like the name.
I like the name. When there was this dive
do.
bar. There was this dive bar I used to go to in San Diego, and they used to give us shot skis, which is like It's 4
Great.
people.
Delicious.
Yeah, it's a ski, and it's got 4 shots
of
glued
course.
to it. Yeah, and then 4 people do the shot at the same time.
I haven't done one of those since college. And it was
I wouldn't recommend it
was so
during pandemic.
dirty. It was so dirty, the ski.
Yeah, I think the ski is a super spreader.
Wash a ski properly.
Especially with shot glasses on it.
Let me explain to you some of the physics behind this. You can't get in the cracks and
The
shot.
crevasses.
Yes, no. So it's not Bitcoinski because I just stopped there. It's like I
can tell.
Well, no.
I got what I needed.
No, I told you guys for cryptocurrency to really it's now that the hedge funds are buying in, it's totally going to be validated. Now that $1 billion funds, $100 billion funds are buying into cryptocurrency, totally legitimized. What it's going to take like a crypto over the top is when a country I say like an African country, one with a very destabilized, like a currency that fluctuates all the time, that for them to adopt that. But the problem with that is cryptocurrency, it's hard to monitor illicit trafficking, but people do illegal shit with dollars and euros all the time. Mm-hmm. So a lot of companies and countries and like kings and rulers they don't want to do that because it means all the money that they have is all of a sudden worthless.
Nothing,
yeah. So it's going to take a country where maybe the ruler has already lost everything, or maybe a country gets overthrown by someone with nothing, and for them to be like, this is now the currency and it actually works.
Well, you could also just change the money into the digital currency. Like that's how Russia would have to do it, right? They would just burn the money and just buy that much in rubles, right?
Technically, that's what you say, but you know how many shady Russians have
I
millions of rubles hidden?
Yes, I burned all the money.
Like,
I cannot change the big ruble.
How do I change a room of rubles? I've been stealing from the country for 50 years. Like you can't. And so that's like the real problem. People act like it's just the trading. No, it's the people who have the currencies. They're very afraid that their fiat currency is going to be totally useless and deemed useless. And, a good way to do that without, unintended consequences is just keep printing money the way the U.S. is doing. But that's another story.
Inflation.
Doctor, let's keep her going.
The most inspiring story of the week, in my opinion, that
beautiful.
actually, like, watching the reaction to this got me a little emotional this week. But the Mars rover Perseverance successfully landed on Mars yesterday, and powered by JPL, NASA Jet Propulsion Lab, out here in Pasadena, California. Really, really amazing engineering that went into this. So you can follow NASA Perseverance on Twitter.
Yes.
And they've already gotten some photos. It landed in a crater that was thought to be a lake billions of years ago, and it's going to look for signs of ancient life.
Oh.
Wow. Now,
Its name is the Perseverance rover, right?
I am tweeting it right now. NASA Perseverance Mars rover.
Which I think is an appropriate name for the troubling times that we're in.
Is the Twitter account. I am extremely impressed with NASA.
I love
really
how they
am.
refer to the rover as a geologist and an astrobiologist.
Well, it's also to, like when they, that's a PR thing. Because when like detectives and question someone and like a person doesn't refer to them and with an actual name, they get very, there's, I don't know the exact way to say it, but it's to actually give meaning and life to someone by calling it like a proper name or a proper human. And this journey to Mars is a big deal.
That's how you take someone's humanity away. You stop calling them by their name.
Well, that's what, it's to add humanity. That's a much better way to say what I was trying to say. But to call someone by it's to add the humanity to it.
Apparently a 7th grader from Virginia named the rover.
Perseverance?
Yeah.
Okay,
nice.
I mean,
That's nice.
yeah, and when they say that, you know, that's also just probably trying to make the 7-year-old feel
Right,
good.
right,
yeah,
right.
no, that was good. We brought that.
Yeah,
good.
great
That's
job.
great. You know?
Persevere.
Yeah, I mean, I hope that 7-year-old doesn't watch this show because it was all you, but it wasn't all you.
It was vetted by many adults.
Like, yeah, you know how many PR people approve that? Yeah. Yeah, okay, now, do they have any disability? That would be great. No, that would be good for the statement.
Okay, Chris Harrison.
Yeah, can we get a
Yeah.
black guy in a wheelchair to name this rover, please?
Yeah, can we? Yeah, that's not, no. Seriously, you think all this is not filtered through 1,000? But it's amazing to me that they're already sending images back because there's such a small window, which they can do this. So I find it absolutely amazing.
Very inspiring, I think.
Well, I want in my lifetime, I would like to get a few more of these cosmic answers that I know are going to come after.
I know.
After me.
How
And
long do I have to live?
Long time.
I'm hoping to get 250 out of this meat bag.
250. You might want to slow down on the whiskey there, then.
No, I'm just gin and soda. tonight.
Sure.
No, just a.
I'm just pointing out the bottles. That was all.
No. I have a lot of open things, but my mother says not to drink and smoke on the show, you know, for a lot of reasons. And I don't smoke cigarettes, but
As no one should.
No, as no one should. My father died of lung cancer, did smoke cigarettes.
I like that your mom is like a hovering presence, just keeping us in line here.
Well, yeah, she is.
Swearing.
No, well, and she's less swearing, and she's right because I've always learned you can make quite a point without saying, you know, whatever it may be. That being said,
4-letter words.
That being said, I am good at saying a lot of 4-letter words in a very short time. Dr. Abby, what you got?
Citibank is feeling the egg on its face.
Ooh, this is funny.
This week because a while back they were trying to send $8 million in interest payments to Revlon and accidentally wired them $300 million. Yes. And a court ruled this week, no, sorry, no takebacks. You cannot get it back.
No take backs.
Yeah. So I feel like they're feeling it a little bit.
No, it was actually 900 million.
Oh, it was 900? 500 million by mistake. It's hundreds of millions of dollars. Is a lot of money.
I think so they wired 900 million but a bunch of people returned the money, but 500 million did not get returned.
Oh, that's what it was.
From 10 investment advisory firms did not
and
give it back, and they cannot force it back. You sent it.
There's a quote in the article I just want to read. It says, "We are extremely pleased with Judge Furman's thoughtful, thorough, and detailed decision," said Benjamin Feinstein, who represented 2 lenders, Brigade and HPS Investment.
I mean,
Why can't anyone accidentally wire me $100 million or something?
can you imagine that attorney? He's like, they sent you extra 100. Yeah, my rate's like 10,000 an hour. I'll get this money, Cap.
Yeah. So I get
10,000
20%.
an hour. You know, that attorney, his eyes were just filled with cash. He's like, you know how much research I'm going to have to do?
Big case here.
Yeah, like this. Yeah. And then for him
Hold
to
my
get
calls.
both of them, because both funds are like, let's split the cost.
Oh
like
my
this,
God.
that's a lot of money. And, you know, city, like, I can't imagine the person, like when they press the enter button, how long till after when they realized? Like, did they get a call
I
at
can't
home?
even believe it. I don't think it's just like one enter button. I feel like there's a lot of information that
always a
has to
final
be.
enter.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't know.
I was a computer programmer for a long time, and there have been many enter button issues, and I have experienced a number. I was at McAfee one time in Texas, and one enter button, and I deleted all of their legal data. Like, it was the scariest moment of my life.
Isn't he crazy, McAfee?
I don't know.
Well,
yeah.
this was long after he left the company.
Yeah, but
Yes.
he's a nut bar, right?
But okay,
I haven't heard of it. Yeah. So yeah, I was at McAfee installing this software. It was a software that like lifts data so that you can give it to lawyers anytime you have a case. and I just hit one wrong button, and it just wiped
How
out
long?
everything.
From the moment you pressed the button
Yes.
till you knew it was gone.
Oh my God! So I hit the enter button. my browser refreshed, and it said 0, and I was like, 0 what?
And because you knew it wasn't supposed to say 0.
I knew because it had a large number before,
This is like your Rick Glassman story, like to 0.
and it's gone.
Yeah.
And it's gone.
I was sitting at the table with 2 McAfee employees and me, and I was looking at my computer, and I looked at them. I just got up, went to the bathroom, and just did breathing exercises in the bathroom.
Because I know
Yeah.
you very well. And I know that had to be a horrific moment in your life.
It is one of the most difficult moments of my life. And
because when you know it was nothing more than a human error.
I literally was like, can I just quit the company right now, leave Texas, just erase all my email?
Oh
my God, dude. And when I fessed up, dude, the way they looked at me, it was just like it was like a shake, and then you did what? And
so it was so egregious they didn't even know how to react.
they didn't even know how to react. And then I got out of the situation, went home. I was sent home, taken off the project.
Immediately.
Immediately. I
It's like giving me anxiety.
I got on the next plane, and I just never heard what happened. And I'm sure they were very upset, but they shielded me.
You never heard what?
Yeah, but my boss took me off the project immediately. I was supposed to
Did
be
you
there.
ever want to know what happened?
No, I mean that's just too painful. It's like I know what happened. They thought I'm the biggest idiot on the planet. They probably lost a bunch of money on me.
See, that's what I imagine exactly happened here. Somebody did it.
I think
I
it could
guess
have.
And they're
my
like,
enter button.
and they're like,
it
oh my
really
God.
is.
And they're like, oh my God. Like, and it's gone. And it's gone. Like, once you hit that, it's like, are you sure you want to transfer? Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. Wait.
Wait. Hold on. And they're refreshing because I'm sure there was an account that had a lot of zeros.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, the zeros were much less. And they're like, what? 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 You know, like,
That's crazy.
yeah. And, some of those people are like, we don't need city. We need 100 million, a lot more than we need city.
Oh yeah. Dude, sever that relationship. We're done.
Yeah, like you did it. And for them to get attorneys and not, that to me is, I found that so hilarious.
So funny.
Like, because they're like, no, we need this money more than we need Citibank, and we don't care what bridges we have to burn. We need any more gasoline? Is there any of the bridge left? We will literally burn down any remnants of the bridge.
No boats.
If there are still pieces up. I found that. Woo!
Yeah. I don't ever need to walk within 10 miles of a Citibank ever again.
All right, there. If they send me 100 million, forget about it.
Goodbye.
Forget about it. Close the account. Give it to me in cash. Right? All right, doctor.
Well,
Moving right along.
speaking of burning bridges,
Yes.
Anna Sorokin, who
Oh.
faked being a German heiress to scam
Okay.
friends, other heiresses, and banks, has been released from prison. She went under the name Anna Delvey and was once a figure in New York's social scene.
Ooh.
So she served 4 years for 4 counts of theft services, 3 counts of grand larceny, attempted grand larceny, after she pretended to have a lavish lifestyle and would trick people into giving her money. She got a $62,000 bill that she bailed on a trip for a friend. She was like, "Oh yeah, I'll pay,"
I'll pay
and
for
then
everything.
pieced out. She persuaded a bank to lend her $100,000. I don't know how.
Hey, I'm a princess.
Oh,
Is bananas.
it's amazing to me because one of these stories happens every 5 years. There was a girl who pretended she was the Samsung heiress, and was convincing people to sell weed and do I know how you prey on people, okay? Like, I've seen here in LA, there would be people who just want to attach to something more, okay? I can understand that part, but how you can convince people and banks to give you money
Banks.
and buy you these tickets and vacations. Like, oh, well, why are you the money?
She tried to get $22 million loan to start a private arts club.
Like, to me, like,
The balls.
just, I mean, there has to, she's a good actress. Like,
Obviously.
she's obviously.
Yeah, I don't think I could say I was the heir to any throne and have people believe me. Hey guys, I'm the heir to.
If
of
you
the throne
sung
in
them that
India.
song, they might.
The McAfee, the McAfee Empire.
Yeah, that's true. I'm next in line to own McAfee
Yeah, like, well, I would.
and Norton Antivirus as well.
Wow. Got a monopoly over here.
I am the virus baron.
The virus baron, yeah.
Yeah, and it's like, the thing is, maybe this is just a personal thing, and I've said this before. I purposely don't ask people what they do for a living because I don't want to hear you lie to me. Like, I don't, like, it'll, like, what you really do will eventually, like, I don't ask. If you want to tell me, fine.
I think that's just you've been in LA for too
Yeah.
long.
No, I don't want to hear. I don't want to hear about your
in-
side
I think you're also
projects.
just like not enjoy, but that's just such an LA thing. Like normal people have regular jobs and just tell you what they do.
Well, okay, maybe within.
Right in LA, everybody's like, "Oh well,
okay.
I want to do this project." And
No
I'm
top
gonna
10
be,
city in no
Actor.
top 10 city in the world. Do I ask that question?
I think you just don't care.
After, no, I do.
I think you just don't want to hear other people talk.
No, I do. What do you mean?
I'm just kidding.
I listen to people talk all the time. I'm one of the great listeners of our generation.
Wow.
I just know when the
Heir
list-
to the
He's
listening.
actually heir to the listening fortune.
I am heir to the eardrum fortune. Okay,
Wow.
like
The guy who invented the
hearing aid
cochlea.
company.
yeah, the hearing. You guys don't know about hearing. You're obviously not in the hearing aid circles.
Oh my God.
But no, I am 100%. I am all for. I don't believe there's anything such as an uninteresting person. I don't. I believe I can find interesting in anyone. But when people try to tell me how great they are or how wonderful
This
their
is all
family
just
is,
LA behavior.
no, it's
I think
anywhere behavior.
Okay.
Okay, people all over the world try to talk up how wonderful their stuff is instead of like getting to. And that's just the company line. I'm trying to prove my worth or my value without showing you my Instagram or something. So I'm going to tell you how. No. I want to know like about either your struggles or what you've overcome or maybe something that you did that maybe nobody else could do or no one else that I could do. Richard, for example, is one of those. He brought in that guitar and did that song. And like, I
I have overcome.
don't need to
Yeah,
hear
and he deleted all
about-
that legal information.
No, about his years of learning the guitar and tell me how wonderful it is. Just if you want to do, then show me.
I really
and
love
that's
that
what
song.
he did.
Oh, thank
and
you.
I thought that was amazing. And I'm glad I was able to tie all that in because these stories get me really mad because I don't want to see people fall victim to animals, to predators in this world, okay? And that person, that Anna girl, as wonderful as an actress as she may be, that is a predator who preys on people. And I do not approve of that. And this is also part of my natural sense of keeping people at a certain distance until like I make a judgment, until I pass like a positive or negative judgment, whatever it may be.
I feel like in LA you have to know someone at least like 2 years before you can believe that they are not some sort of criminal.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's not even just criminal. Like I know plenty of people who have done illegal things who are not predators. But
Predator.
Yeah,
I
like-
think it takes 2 years to know if someone's a predator or not.
Yeah, absolutely. I've dated predators. I've made very bad decisions.
I've made terrible decisions too.
Yeah, like and it's not that I don't care what you do. It's just I don't want to hear the company line. So if you're going to come at me with some grandiose story, it better not be the company line that you've practiced 1,000 times over in 1,000 different conversations.
Well, yeah, the 2 cities I've been in, people are like that too. So San Francisco, everyone's like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. I got my shit done. And then LA's
And that's
like,
great.
I'm an actor.
And you can be, and that's great. But let's get to the meat and potatoes. I'm not a too much of a small talk guy. Like even on if you ever watch my interview shows, I try to get to the root of what people are, what they do, what they may really think. And sometimes you have to call bullshit. You got to call bullshit on people. And this is one of those stories that it just gets me mad because she was spitting a line of bullshit to people. And
yeah, what do you think about emotional manipulation? Because there was that one woman, do you remember the woman who wasn't there? Do you remember that documentary? The woman, she pretended to be a 9/11 widower to make friends.
That's so
I think
twisted.
It's
I
weird,
think that's
right? Yeah.
just as bad, if not worse, because all of it I think falls within the scope of sociopathic behavior. That being said, those who prey, well, look, money and emotion, like it's all very close. Like preying on someone emotionally is similar to preying on someone, just for money or whatnot. Like it's you're just trying to pull at their heartstrings,
Which is which is more intense somehow.
Emotion, everything emotional can be more intense, but I sometimes don't imagine this person who's I'm sure they put up all this money for the vacations and they do all this stuff, and she's like, oh, my family will wire you the money, what, and then you just never get the money.
Oh my God! But imagine how much fun they had on vacation. They spent $62,000.
That's a fun trip.
That seems like a baller ass.
That's not only extremely true. I thought that same thing. I was like, God, I would have loved to seen the hotel room.
Well, you may get a chance because Netflix bought the rights to her story.
Right.
And they're going to make a series about it. And she is trying. She paid her victims all the money that she got from Netflix. So
which
she
is
feels
fine.
some remorse.
Well, 4 years in the pokey.
Yeah.
Maybe it helps. Maybe it does. Maybe it doesn't. I don't know.
And she's probably going to get deported. So
To Germany.
yeah.
Well, hopefully she, gets into a country where the documentary is available.
I think Germany, they'll have it.
Well, my sister has a VPN. Don't raid her house or anything. To get American shows in whatchamacallit, Italy.
Oh.
Yes, and then I'm not trying to give anyone any advice on how to do illicit activity. A VPN never hurts.
Use Tor. It's an anonymous browser.
Oh yeah.
Are we done? I thought we had more.
What do we have?
Well, we're going to go through a little vaccine topper.
Oh, we have our vaccine,
the vaccine topper.
Yes, we'll go ahead. Yes, absolutely, Dr.
Okay,
Abby,
well,
yes.
it just quickly,
Yes,
a little
absolutely,
nice
please.
finisher. The Greenhouse of Walled Lake in Michigan is doing a Pot for Shots campaign where if you come get your COVID vaccine, they will give you a free joint.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, this was super one. Now, the reason I didn't like this story is because, as you know, I don't. Oh gosh, the easiest way for me to say this is I come from an old school cannabis user mentality. That if I do it, I don't need to tell anyone. I don't need to talk about it. I don't need to, it's just a private
Don't
thing.
ask, don't tell.
Don't ask, don't tell cannabis policy.
Sure.
You know,
Cannabis is so widestream now. Cannabis is like drinking water, man.
I know, but the thing is, this story was a little troubling to me because I know that the joints that they're giving out are probably the worst.
Oh, just a shake.
The most horrible. This is borderline not marijuana. The joints that they're giving out. And I'm afraid someone's going to get the vaccine. It's going to be their first introduction into the because marijuana legally just got legalized
in
Michigan. It's going to be their first entry, let's try this joint thing that I've heard so much about. and it's going to be
Some Michigan mom just like, oh
A
gosh,
a bad experience.
it's gonna literally give them a headache. It's gonna
Well, then, they may blame the vaccine for that. It's
So
just a
that's-
bad situation.
that was
I got all paranoid after the vaccine.
the COVID vaccine makes you hungry.
Yeah, I gotta eat everything in the kitchen.
But it makes movies really interesting.
Yeah, I slept really good.
Yeah, I had mixed emotions. Like, just to let you know, that was.
I think it's an interesting concept.
Yeah, I'm going to pull the pots for shots just so people can see. This is a real thing. And that's the joint they showed, the pots for shots. But, I get real worried
The quality
about,
is questionable.
about
What's in there?
Yeah, I get
Some oregano.
Just oregano, yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, I
Some
get
grass.
real scared for what my
Potpourri.
yeah. So that to me, like I say, that to me it's a nice story. It's good to end on, but it's a little scary.
Well, and before we end, I think you should look at where you are in line for the COVID
Yeah,
vaccine.
so if you want to know when you
Yeah.
can get your free joint, the New York Times has a little cartoon animator where you can find your. I like all the little cartoons they made.
Yeah.
Yep.
So enter your information, go down, and fill it out real quick.
All right, and then it tells you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right,
So we're 29.
My birthday is just about to happen. I am the ripe old age of 32.
All right.
Okay.
You're going to get the wrong results, maybe.
Yeah, no.
It's LA.
Wait, none of these.
No.
No, but you would consider me a frontline person.
I don't know who would consider you a frontline.
So I would be where?
Wait, you have to hit
Keep going.
There we go.
Are.
There you are.
There you are.
So who are you behind?
Near the back.
Well, no, and it's okay. Like
This thing is very inaccurate because it's so there's so much.
and so is my age. Well,
homogeneity.
so is my age. Is quite a, that's
Well,
that's interesting.
I wasn't gonna be.
But
the
some
one
of these
to
people
say
online
that.
look like dicks. Like, they're just like, yeah, we're getting it before you.
Yeah,
well,
I
no,
cut-
some of these
I
people
cut.
look like the girl who just got released.
and lied.
Yeah.
Well, actually, there was two 30, 40 something year olds were caught in Florida dressing up like old people trying to get vaccines, and they put them on TV. They were like, "You're taking vaccine away from people who need it."
That's
They
so
shamed
funny.
them.
Wow. Well, everyone be safe. Thank you very much, doctor, for being our
Thank you.
in-house
I try. I
our
do my
in-house antibody vaccine all rolled up in one. Thank you, Dr. Abby and Richard Sarvate.
thank you.
This I was gonna call you a comedian, but I refuse.
I'm no longer a comedian.
Musician.
Yep.
Singer songwriter.
Singer-song, well, that sounds nice, but musician, it's one word.
Artiste.
Artist.
Robin Thicke, here I come.
Richard
Right.
Sarvate. I have to say, this has been a wonderful episode of the Brian Moreno Show. If you are just joining us on any of these new platforms, thank you very much. Don't forget, we're on YouTube. Subscribe, follow, comment. Yeah,
love
leave us a little
comments.
some. I know some
Engagement.
of you are shy. Don't be. Like, we
Say
are
hi.
here. Yeah, we're here
We don't bite.
for the people. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been the Brian Moreno Show.